What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about the illusion of control. Life gets so much easier, and this is my take on it, okay? And this is how, um, I've benefited from adopting this mentality. Um, and let me say this before I get started. If you like this video, then talk to me in the comments. I love reading your comments. Um, I read every single one of them, and I reply to everyone that I see. For some reason, I get comments, and when I click on them, they're not there, and that happens a lot. I'm not sure why that is because um, like usually when I click on a comment, a screen will pop up that with a link to community guidelines. But I'm looking at the comment, and usually I can read the whole comment, and I don't see a problem. But so you know, if I see the comment, if I can see it, then I'm gonna reply. One guy left a comment asking if we could be friends, and I went to click on it, and it wasn't there. So I don't know what that's about, but I just wanted to say that before I get into this, okay? And for all of you that are commenting and liking and sharing and subscribing, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So the illusion of control. Um, I don't even remember if I said this, but for me, life has gotten so much easier, and it continues to get easier the more I just kind of let things flow, right? Um, and what I mean by that is, I understand this isn't my show, right? Everything that's here now was here before I got here. I'm talking in terms of the earth and everything that's in it, the plants and trees and animals and all that stuff. And there's even in more human world, businesses, corporations, on and on, all this stuff. In that regard, there are some new things, but for the most part, everything was here before I got here, and everything will most likely be here once I leave, unless us as a race of people destroy it. But anyway, so I understand this isn't my show. I don't know. I feel like that I'm just a character, in a big movie, right? And I compare life to movies a lot, and I think it fits, right? So if you think about a movie, um, any movie that you watch, all right, you got your multitude of characters, and each character is playing a specific role that was written out for them, right? And then there's auditions that take place and everything like that to determine, or to find the best person, or like the best person for that role, the person who can play that role the best and like really make that role and that character come to life, right? So actually, this is one thing that, because I don't know, man, Like, there's a lot of movies that, I would watch. I really don't watch movies too much now, but in the past, when I would watch movies, I would cry at a lot of stuff. I mean, even like animations, because, for me, it's just something powerful about watching, a character struggle. And every movie's pretty much set up the same way. It starts off great, then there's a struggle, then there's, you know, like a triumphant victory. There's an overcoming of that struggle. And in the end, you know, the character usually wins. But it would be emotional for me for some reason. I like seeing people overcome hardships. And when it looks like, you know, it's over, it's a wrap, they're not going to make it through this, you know, and to see them emerge from that, that just, I don't know, it just hits me, man. Like, I got a soft spot for that, you know, and, but that's not even the point. Um, the point is how everything is already written out. And so in other movies where, it could be hard to watch, you know, um, say like a horror film, right? Um, which I don't watch, but I have, you know, something that would help me to be able to watch the whole movie and, not really be moved by it is understanding that everything I'm watching was already written, right? And so, and then also understanding, just the general format. Okay, they're gonna go through some things, but in the end, somehow they're gonna win, right? Now, as you watch the movie, those characters are just playing roles that was written for them. Those characters are not in control of anything, right? The people that wrote the scripts are the ones that are ultimately in control. And so this is why I compare life to movies a lot, because I feel it's the same way with life. Um, we're not in control. Like, really, we're not. And, we're in control of some things, just like an actor in a movie, you know, but most things we're not in control of. Um, and so, what types of things are you in control of, and what types of things are you not in control of? Some things I would say that you're in control of is your attitude, right? Um, you can control that. The way you talk, the way you think, you can control things like that. You know, um, your perspectives, uh, whether you have a good day or not, whether you let a situation get the best of you or not. You know, um, there's a good amount you can control, but, um, there's so much that you don't control, and ultimately, the things that you don't control are bigger than the things that you do control. All right. So I'll give some examples and, see if this, makes any sense to you. And, if you got a different take on it, a different perspective, a different angle, whatever, talk to me, leave it in the comments. Okay. So my name is Kevin Moore. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. Currently, I do a lot of things. I'm a general contractor by trade. Um, I provide warranty service, for a company. I'm an author. I'm a master life coach, and I got other things in the works. Now, how much of that did I control? Right? One, I didn't control my name, Kevin Moore. I had no say over that. I didn't control being born male. I had no control over that. I didn't control the parents I was born to. I didn't control the desires of my heart. And that's a big one. So I'm going to stop right there and, just talk about that. The desires of your heart is what drives you, right? That is, I don't know if there's anything more powerful when it comes to what drives you than the desires of your heart. It's not, I hear people, people talk about, discipline, like, especially like when, trying to accomplish a goal, or, um, people talk about, discipline, and the importance of consistency and all these different things, right? But it really, really just comes down to your desire, right? Because there are things that you have no desire for that you can't make yourself desire, right? And things that you do desire, like that you really, really desire, no one has to tell you to be disciplined. No one has to tell you to be consistent, because these are things that you want to do, right? So how hard is it for you to do something that you want to do? And then the flip side of that is, you know, how easy is it for you to do something that you don't want to do, right? That is a very powerful driving force. And, pretty much everything we do is based on our desires. Now, there may be like some exceptions, but not really. There's really, because say, I don't know, the first thing, there's a lot of things that just came to mind. But say you want to go to school, you want to go to college to be, uh, I don't know, an architect, right? That is your desire. That is what you truly desire. Now, there might be, most likely there will be, um, parts of that journey that you're not gonna like, right? There's gonna be parts of that journey that you'll have maybe little to no desire for, right? But your ultimate desire, if it's strong enough, it will carry over and propel you to do things that you don't really want to do. Your ultimate desire is to be an architect, but you don't want to go to school, which is funny, right? But your desire to be an architect is stronger than, say, your desire to stay home instead of going to school. Or your desire to be an architect is stronger than your desire to watch TV or hang out with friends instead of studying for an exam you got coming up. You know what I'm saying? So your dominant desires will cause you to be able to do whatever you need to do. Those smaller things that are part of the journey that you may not want to do, your dominant desire will inspire you to get through all of that. But if you desire to be an architect, you didn't give yourself that desire. So do you see how, like, that single desire to be an architect, whatever it is. This applies, it doesn't matter what it is. I just picked architect, but it doesn't matter what it is. This applies. Look at how much of your life is influenced and controlled by that one desire. And you didn't give yourself that desire. You didn't make a decision to want to be an architect or whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever it is you want to be. What you did was discover what you were passionate about, and you're pursuing it. And again, how hard is it to pursue something that you're passionate about? How hard is it to pursue something that you love? Love is another super, super powerful force. You know, love and desire, you know, in the context in which I'm talking, they go together. You know, they're like partners, siblings, you know. And whenever you have those two together, if you know, like if you love it, you're automatically gonna have a desire for it, right? And then you're automatically gonna have the discipline. You're automatically going to be willing, more than willing, to sacrifice whatever you need to sacrifice in the pursuit of your passion, you know, in the pursuit of doing what you love to do, right? So then you go from there and say, boom, you go to college, you get your degree, now you're an architect, and then you start building your life, right? Your degree in architecture, you get a job, on and on and on. Look at how much just that one thing affects other areas of your life. Like, it affects everything. But where did that desire come from? Right? That's not something you control. You know, I know some of y'all have my book, To My Kids, Everything I've Learned in 46 Years. And in that book, I talk about this a little bit. And I say, like, I talk about it in relationship to working out, you know, getting in shape, right? Because that's something that I struggled with for a lot of years. You know, I've been working out since like high school, but I could never be consistent. Like, I was never consistent. I would work out, you know, at most like 3 months is what I remember. And then like I didn't work out no more for like a year or two. And that was always the pattern, right, in my life. So in the book, I talk about how I had a desire to be in better shape. And so what I ended up doing was taking a different approach towards working out. And so the approach that I took was to get my mind right first, right? Because there was a desire there. So what I had to do was build on that desire and make my desire to get in shape, to work out, to eat right, you know, or eat consistent with my goals. I had to make that desire stronger than my desire to stay at home, watch TV, eat cheesecake, chocolate chip cookies, potato chips, etc., etc. And so that's what I did. And I won't really get into how I did that because that's kind of off topic of this video. But the point of me saying that is to say, once I got my mind, once I increased my desire to work out and get in shape, it was easy to do, right? Once I did, I'm talking like 20, probably like 25 years of being inconsistent with working out. You know, working out, you know, a month, and then taking like 8 months off and stuff like that. Like that was my pattern from high school. But once I um, increase my desire to do it again, how hard is it to work out if you really want to work out? You know, how hard is it to say no to cheesecake if you'd rather have a salad or if you'd rather have a piece of fruit, right? But if there was no desire there, like some people just don't have a desire for working out, right? And so you're just not going to do it, because ultimately we only do the things that we want to do. Like, I don't care what the situation is, you know, ultimately we only do what we want to do, right? Now, you know, you say like I don't know, I'm trying to give an example. A friend comes and asks you, hey, can you take me to the airport, right? Now, on the surface, you know, that may not be something you want to do, right? But you may be able to do it for another reason, right? I don't know, let's say they offered to pay you, right? And so you don't have any desire to drive them all the way to the airport, but you have a desire for the $20 they gonna give you or something like that, right? Or you may not have a desire to drive them to the airport, but you may just have a desire to spend some time with that person. You know, ultimately, even if there's a gun to your head, right? You know, like you've heard that saying, you know, nobody made you do that. Nobody put a gun to your head to do that. You still have options with a gun to your head, right? And what you decide to do is ultimately, I mean, you're ultimately following the strongest desire. So with a gun to your head, you know, somebody threatening you, do this or else, right? What's the option? The option is the or else, right? You could choose the or else over, you know, doing what they want you to do. Like, we always have options, right? And so where do your desires come from? Like, your desires ultimately control the direction of your life. Now, I see desires as a gift. You know, I see desires as part of our makeup. You know, we were created, and we were created for specific purposes, and we were given gifts that would enable us to fulfill those purposes. Now, this is another example I give in the book. Like, what if you were good at plumbing, right? You were an amazing plumber, but you had no desire for it, right? You would never do any plumbing. You could be the best plumber in the world, but if you don't have a desire for it, then it's useless for you to even be good at it. Because it's a skill, it's an ability that you would never use. Whereas if you did have a desire for it, you could use that, and there's no telling how far you could take it. You know, it could turn into your own business. Like, there's just no telling, right? So just as you didn't control the things that you are good at doing, you didn't control your desires either. But the two kind of go together. Because just as I was saying, if you're good at doing something but you have no desire to do it, you're not going to do it. Now, if you have a desire for something and you're not good at it initially, your desire will cause you, it will inspire you, it will motivate you, it will like propel you to put in the work, put in the effort to get good, right? Because that's what you desire. You're passionate about it. You enjoy doing it even if you suck at it. And what's going to happen is the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And then you'll become a beast at it. But it's because you had that desire for it, right? It's one of the most influential things in our lives, and we have no control over it. Think about the opportunities, like when you get a job, a lot of times you think, you get a job, you got that job because of, you put in an application, right? And you're doing good in the interview process. But what happens to the person that put in the application and did just as well in the interview process? Like both of y'all can't get the job. Why does one get the job and one doesn't? Like somebody has to get it and somebody won't. And it could be dozens of people that are all qualified. There is so much that we don't control that is going on behind the scenes, just like in a movie. You're watching a movie on the screen, but there is so much going on behind the scenes that is responsible for that movie that you just have no idea of, right? You have no idea what's going on. And the same it is with life. As I always say, to understand life, you always got to dig beneath the surface, because there's so much more going on than what you see with your physical eyes. And again, just like I didn't control being born a male, I didn't control being born a heterosexual male, right? I didn't look at, I don't know, like 5-6 years old, and whenever I start liking females, like I didn't just look at a girl and was like, ooh, and just, well, I probably did say ooh, but what I'm saying is I didn't make a decision to be attracted to women. I'm just attracted to women. That wasn't a choice. That's just what it is. Life is more about discovering ourselves, right? I just discovered I like that. I don't even know if I could tell you why. All I know is I see and I like what I see. And so I pursue that, right? If you're good in math, if you're good in science, right? If you love helping people, like none of these things are choices. None of these things are decisions that we made. These are things that we've discovered about ourselves. These are things that were put in us and we've discovered. Like, oh, I like women, or oh, I like chemistry, or oh, I like cheesecake, right? Oh, blue is my favorite color. Man, I might have to make a part 2 to this video. I'm gonna end this video here. I don't really feel like I said enough about this to really make the point that I was trying to make. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. There is so much more I could say about this that I feel could drive this point home further. But yeah, let me know what you think. In the comments, and if you have, like I said, you got a different take, different perspective, let's talk. So until the next video, this is Kev, your life coach, and I'm out.